Hello, it's Rose. We're back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about my second trimester symptoms all the way up to my 20 weeks of pregnancy. We're going to go ahead and start with a little update. Right now I'm actually 21 weeks, but I am really showing. I love black leggings because it really defines how round I'm getting. Look at that, I love it. If you haven't already seen my first trimester symptoms, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link on either this side or this side. I don't remember which side it is. Just look above and I will put that link right there and you can click on it. I went week by week of what my symptoms were. So the first trimester ends at the end of week 13 of pregnancy. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with week 14. For week 14 and 15, I had the same symptoms, just generally moody, low back pain, frequent urination, swollen breast, and towards the end of week 15, I started to experience what's known as round ligament pain. According to WebMD, round ligament pain is a sharp pain or jabbing feeling often felt in the lower belly or groin area on or both sides. It is one of the most common complaints during pregnancy and is considered a normal part of pregnancy. It is most often felt during the second trimester. Unfortunately for me, I started to experience that on my right side. It progressively got worse, but we'll get there. All of week 16, I was very uncomfortable because I had extreme constipation. I know it's TMI, but it's also really common for people in their pregnancy to go through the gastrointestinal changes like that, you know, with diarrhea, constipation, gassiness, bloating, acid reflux, and that entire week was just very uncomfortable, but I made it through. At week 16, I started noticing the baby was kicking. Specifically, 16 weeks and 6 days, I felt the first possible kick while doing the dishes. A lot of people describe the pain as a flutter. When I first got the pain, it felt more like a toothpick that was dragging right along my stomach. And as the weeks went by, it turned into more of like a baby carrot dragging along my stomach to full-on kicks, strong kicks. I love when I can tell where my baby's positioned. Sometimes I can feel the head over here, the head over here. It's a great way to connect and bond with the baby even though the baby's not actually here yet, and I love that. It's the best feeling ever. I keep looking down because I'm referencing all my notes on my phone. I have a horrible memory and that's why I do use my phone a lot to keep track. At the end of week 16, I went on a camping trip, which was a huge mistake. I think the combination of working out too much, doing the hikes, not sleeping well, and then inhaling a lot of smoke from the fireplace, because we had a fire that night for s'mores and barbecue. It caused me to have a sinus infection. For the sinus infection, I put down that my teeth hurt, my face hurt, my ears were hurting, I had the shivers. I got some antibiotics and that eventually went away within a couple days, so that's good. For week 18, I got the first strongest definite kicks from my baby. Prior to that, the little movements that I felt, I wasn't really sure if it was my baby. What I wrote down that the baby kicks felt like, I put, it felt like gas. It felt like I was gonna fart or something. And then the really big kicks, they more so felt like there was a knot in my stomach. Kind of like the feeling that you get when you get nervous, like your stomach just gets really tense. That's how I would describe it. But that day I had some coffee and I felt some movement, so I decided to put my hand on my stomach and I got the hardest karate chop kick I had ever felt, and it was the first time, and it just made my whole day. It was great. It was the best feeling. That was at 18 weeks and 2 days. The day after, Alex also got the opportunity to feel my baby kick, and so great. Ever since then, the baby has just been non-stop moving. It's definitely the baby, and like I said before, like I can tell where the baby's positioned, where it's laying, if it's asleep, if it's awake. I'm looking forward and hoping to be able to experience baby hiccuping. I think that would be so cool, because then I could tell where the head's at or like located. But that hasn't happened yet, but I hope I will be able to experience. I just think that would be so interesting. I want to experience everything, well, all the positive stuff anyways. So the same day that I felt my baby kick, I went to my doctor because the around ligament pain was kind of getting unbearable, and he told me he thought it was a kidney stone. So initially I also thought it was a kidney stone that I was gonna have to pass, and he pretty much did nothing for me except tell me I could take Tylenol, which wasn't really helpful. He didn't even have the imaging done. I'm not really mad at him, but 3 days later I did wind up going to the hospital, and then they had imaging done. I just kind of wish it didn't have to get to that point. So by 18 weeks and 6 days, I went to the hospital and they did imaging because I really thought I had a kidney stone. They also did blood work, and basically the ultrasound and the blood work just told me that I was pregnant. So they said most likely the pain that I'm experiencing is just normal pregnancy pains. Me and Alex laugh at it now, but in that time I was waking up, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 times a night to try to sleep in a comfortable position because it was so painful. My OBGYN told me to take Tylenol, but when I went to the hospital, the doctor that helped me at the hospital, she was actually also pregnant, and she told me within 5 years they're not going to recommend that pregnant patients take Tylenol anymore. Tylenol is correlated with autism. I kind of felt disappointed that my OBGYN, who worked with pregnant women on a daily basis, would recommend that to me. So when I found that out, I instantly stopped taking the Tylenol. But besides that, an alternate that she told me that I could take was lidocaine patches. That's like much better than taking the Tylenol, because the Tylenol goes directly into your baby's bloodstream, whereas the lidocaine patches, it's more topical, so it just goes directly to the skin, possibly to the muscle, but hopefully not to the baby. Besides that, the doctor at the hospital didn't really say there was anything else to help me with around ligament pain. I just had to do my own research, which for this pregnancy I felt like everything that I've learned is just my own research, which means a lot of Google searching and YouTube videos. What I learned from the YouTube video was that massaging the round ligament could relieve the pain, and then there's a position where you're on your knees and your elbows and your butt's in the air, your face is to the ground. I guess just reversing where the pressure is located caused some ease in the tension. I was doing a lot of that, but just generally taking it easy has really helped me with around ligament pain. Week 19, I was doing a lot of walking around because I was prepping for the gender reveal. Week 20, I was gonna find out what the gender of our baby was. Just walking around, standing for too long really caused a lot of that round ligament pain to get inflamed, and I would even have to stop driving to just relieve the pain because it was so uncomfortable. Finally, at week 20, I learned my lesson. Don't be walking around a lot. Try to relax, try to rest, and I did get a solid week of no pain. During my 20 weeks, I also found out that I finally gained 3 pounds. So I went from 140 to 143, which is such a relief. I was really worried about not gaining enough weight. I'm 21 weeks now, and I feel like I should be a lot bigger than I actually am. Oh my gosh, she's going crazy. Hopefully that doesn't become an issue later on. She came back. Okay. And hopefully baby continues to grow at a normal pace. I'm just on the smaller side, and it's my first pregnancy, so I really hope that doesn't turn into something. At 20 weeks and 7 days, I finally noticed that I could go an hour without having to pee. So it seemed like the baby was lifting off my bladder and going more into my stomach area, which was really great. I'm so glad that I can go a full hour without needing to pee every 10-15 minutes, what it felt like. Currently, I'm 21 weeks, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw in what I've been going through at 21 weeks. At the beginning of 21 weeks, I started to have a lot of what I call growing pains, which is essentially if my abs are stretching out. It's painful to cough, to laugh, to move too quickly, and because this was starting to stretch out, it irritated the round ligament pain, so that came back. I also developed very itchy boobs, another TMI. The night that I was especially irritated by my boobs, I was like itching and itching. I was like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? And I look at my nipples and I have fluid coming out of them. I googled it. It is normal for milk to start being produced in the mother's breast a couple months prior to giving birth. I never knew that women could start producing milk so early. It made me feel like, wow, this baby is really gonna be coming here soon. I put a couple little notes of just some random things that I'm also experiencing. I've been craving olives, sodium in general, salty snacks, chips. I already mentioned this, but difficulty walking for long periods of time. A new thing that started happening when I went into my second trimester is that I started peeing myself with coughing too hard, sneezing too hard. I don't know, it just puts too much pressure and I pee myself. In my second trimester, I've also started to recognize when my baby's going through a growth spurt. I can tell because I start to get really, really hungry, and I'll be snacking between like 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. sometimes. Also, something that I noted was pregnancy cravings were not what I thought they would be. I mean, of course I want salty olives and salty chips and salty snacks, but a lot of women made it seem like I can't live or go on if I don't have my craving, and I feel just fine if I don't have what I'm craving in that moment. A lot of women also talk about having unusual cravings like dirt or detergent or weird combinations like, I don't know, pickles and sour cream, something random like that. And I haven't really had anything like that. I think my appetite has just been really normal. Besides that, I've just had a feeling of dread that this pregnancy is almost over. It's halfway through and time feels like it's simultaneously going too fast and too slow. I can't wait for the baby to get here. I hope this video was informative. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you can relate. Let me know if there was anything that you experienced that I didn't. I'm really interested to know more. I mean, I know every pregnancy is different and every woman is different, and if I have another pregnancy that might be entirely different from this one, but I just like to know the information. I like to hear and read about everybody's experiences. I just find it so interesting. I think the next video is going to be the gender reveal. We had to cancel it. We had to reschedule it. It was supposed to be last week, but it's gonna be this weekend instead. So we're still gonna see what our baby's gender is. I'll see you in the next video.